Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me again today. Just another day in paradise. Not much going on today. Went out for a food run earlier this morning. Going out for more and more of these days, just trying to keep my stocks up, and with a guest coming in, thought I needed to go get some more bananas, and bananas I got about 70 or 80, and I'll do one more run on Thursday before Alyssa gets here. Still sitting on a nice big stash of mangoes here. I've already had like 2 or 3 this morning. Had a few yesterday. These are good, really nice and sweet. You know, I get a good number of comments from people here on the channel, and it's nice to know there's a lot of beginners, a lot of people that are new to the lifestyle that make comments, that respond. So I try to, you know, when I'm sitting around, when I'm thinking about ideas for videos, or when I'm just doing a little research and studying online, I like to do it with the new people in mind, and just little tricks that might help a little bit along the way, and just some information that might make their journey go a little bit smoother. From time to time, I go on YouTube and I go on Google. I've done this in a lot of different things because I've done some internet marketing. My last job was doing a lot of searches, figuring out keywords, and just seeing what comes up. So I'm used to doing a lot of searches and just seeing what's trending. So every once in a while, I like to see what's trending in this raw vegan world, high carb vegan world. And I'll just go into YouTube, mostly YouTube now, because it does, even though they have the same, you know, they're both Google search, and Google owns YouTube. The algorithms are just a little bit different, and your results will vary a little bit different on YouTube than on Google. So I tend to search more on YouTube and see the videos that come up just from time to time, you know, like I say, just to see what's out there, see what people are saying, see what's trending, maybe get video ideas, because sometimes I'll see you know, a title, and I'll think, oh, that might be a good topic, or I might watch a video and try to give a different spin on the subject. But one thing I would definitely say is when you're on YouTube, especially when you're doing searches and when you're cruising through videos, be discerning with what you're watching, be discerning with what you're believing, because, you know, I started with the very basic, just to see the keyword raw vegan. And I went from there with some derivatives of that. And to be quite honest, when I searched raw vegan, you know, I didn't go beyond the 4th page, but the first 3 or 4 pages, it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot, very, if you go in and search raw vegan, just that term, you know, you can go and play around raw vegan information, raw vegan lifestyle, raw vegan diet. There's very little solid info out there. It's, you know, I understand the algorithms, a lot of what I said. Now, like I say, this ain't no hating on anybody. I watch a lot of just stuff. I watch a lot of mind candy. A lot of the things I watch on YouTube are for entertainment. Even though I don't get caught up in it, even some of the stuff, I enjoy watching some of the fluff in the high carb vegan world. But just know what you're watching. Know if you're watching something for entertainment, and know if you're watching something to get information. And yeah, you make the decision on that. But so I understand how the algorithms work. What's popular is going to get up on, is going to rank high on those searches. But what I saw on the first 3 or 4 pages was, let's see, what was included in the fluff there. I've got some my notes down here too. A lot of people who are no longer raw vegan. There were tons of the, you know, the whole, and I have my feelings about that whole thing. Anybody's free to create whatever content, but if I never see a why I don't eat raw vegan again video, I will die a happy man. That's just the biggest garbage I think out there. It's just for views. It's just to get clicks. It's usually to stir something up, because the people, when they say and they no longer do it, they're usually pissed off. Now, I have seen some relevant videos on this subject, so as always, I speak in generalities and know there's exceptions out there. But yeah, those are worthless to me, because I've seen a couple, like I say, I've seen a couple that they have some various reasons for what they're doing. But otherwise, if you're not going to eat raw vegan anymore, you don't need to make some big fanfare about it. Just start eating your cooked food. It's all well and good. A lot of it is just the continuing dogma, the continuing trying to bring you into the fold, the continuing argument of cooked versus raw over and over and over and over. You have the people that are psychotically raw, that are just, they have nothing on their brain but preaching raw food all the time, you know. And then on the other side, you have the people that are, for some reason or another, they're very bitter against the raw vegan lifestyle. It's not enough for them just not to do the raw vegan lifestyle. They're very bitter. So you have a lot of this back and forth in the videos of why the lifestyle doesn't work, or why it's a ridiculous lifestyle, and then you have the others that are defending it to the death. So a lot of it is there. It's just argument, no information. In the whole why I'm no longer raw vegan, generally no information. You've got a lot of a lot of flash, a lot of things that are, like I say, that get views, but not a lot of information. Now, I was happy to see that, peppered in there. Now, if you know how to look at the internet, if you know how to kind of like just pick things out, watch a couple of minutes and say, nah, this, or know what's happening, at least know you're watching entertainment, or knowing if you're getting information. Because there's some peppered in there on the first few pages. I was very happy to see, and sometimes I don't know how that affects the algorithm, since it's somebody I'm connected to, somebody I watch all the time, if that affects the searches. But I did find some Tanny Raw videos on the first few pages. Not many though, not many. And some of the ones that ranked higher than hers, it was blasphemy. I mean, you had some little twits on there that they're cute and they don't have any bad intentions, but it was total fluff. And then you've got Tanny Raw down there that's just a wealth of knowledge, but maybe she's not as flashy. Maybe people don't see, the drama or whatever on her channel. But I did see several of her videos pop up on the first few pages when I searched that term. I saw I saw 2 or 3 or 4 of Lissa's videos pop up, of Lissa's Raw Food Romance. Both very good channels, very good sources of information. Now, see, if you stumble across something like that, you're gonna get some good information. But usually, and I've kind of found that in other searches I do on Google, and when I was doing for this last job I had where I was working at the little school in Jaco, and like I say, I've done a number of searches and research for different reasons on Google, not just the food. And I've come to find that Google's kind of becoming useless in the sense of what it takes to get you to the top of the searches. It all comes back to money. The people with the most resources, a lot of times in a bigger picture, when you're doing searches, and you've got major players, companies in there, well, they're doing everything perfect, so they get to the top. But what I'm trying to get at is, even as a search engine, Google's kind of getting to where, I mean, do you agree or not? Like, you go in and you search something on Google and you're looking for information, and a lot of times it's just a better marketed, you'll have like 100 better marketed pages ahead of the very first page that actually gives you some solid information on what you're looking on. So all I'm saying is just be discerning in and know what you're watching, know what you're listening to, and be able to tell the difference. Like I say, nothing wrong at all. I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that says, oh, you shouldn't watch this person, you shouldn't watch that person, you shouldn't watch this type of video, you shouldn't watch that type. I'm assuming if you're watching YouTube, you're a grown person. You can make a decision for yourself. So I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying know the difference between entertainment and information. And there's a lot of good solid stuff out there. Like I mentioned, there's Tanny Raw, there's Lissa's Raw Food Romance. But I will go back to, and like I say, I'll keep this kind of in the vein of or in the thought process of, newer raw vegans or people that are really looking for information. I get I've said this a million times, I get watching the high carb vegans that aren't necessarily raw vegans teach me how to do my raw vegan lifestyle much, much better than the raw vegans that I watch. Possibly with the exception of Tanny Raw. I've taken a lot of my outline of how I do this lifestyle from her. I do a few different twists on it, but as far as the science goes and stuff, I learn more, I plug in more holes, because there are gaps that we can fall into on this raw vegan lifestyle, and I plug a lot of those by watching the science, by watching the Brenda Davis Becoming Vegan, by watching Dr. Greger, How Not to Die, by watching Dr. Esselstyn, by watching T. Colin Campbell, and the people that just talk about the science and the facts of a plant-based lifestyle. You know, if you can learn and understand the facts of a vegan and plant-based lifestyle, you can figure out how to do the raw for yourself. But, you know, to finish up, and hey, I'm kind of fluff myself, but I try to curate content. I try to point people in directions. I don't do these hard-hitting videos with a ton of the science in there. I like to point people towards science because there's a lot of people that can explain that stuff much better than me. But anyhow, yeah, just be aware of your online experience, everything you're doing. Always be aware of everything you're doing and why you're doing it. You know, like I say, I do a lot of things that people consider silly. I do things that are contradictory. I do things that could be considered hypocritical from time to time, but I always know why I'm doing it. And like I say, I always look myself in the eyes in the mirror, and I know I'm not bullshitting myself. I know that I'm being real with myself. So anyhow, we'll just start to ramble from here on. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And I think by the time this video comes out, I hope your week is off to a great start. I love you guys. Peace.